Hey guys, I'm an Ableton user but recently started working on the MPC and I wanted to make a quick video to share some things that I wish I knew as a complete MPC noob. If you've never used an MPC before, the initial workflow can feel a bit unintuitive. So here are a couple of quick notes and tips to get you into the music making faster right out of the box. At the time of recording this, I was using firmware version 2.11.1. This one's a bit niche, I guess, but if you're still researching and don't have an MPC yet, maybe this will help. While I was still waiting for my MPC to arrive, I bought an SD card reader, but it turns out you don't need one. You can connect your MPC to the computer via USB, and then when you do that, the SD card in your MPC will mount as a drive on your computer, which you can then use as any other external drive. So yeah, save yourself that extra couple of dollars. Functions with dedicated buttons also have sub-functions. The red text under each button is an alternate function which you can activate by holding Shift and pressing that same button. But alternatively, instead of holding Shift and pressing a button, just quickly double tap for the desired sub-function. This applies to any button on your MPC that has red text underneath it. If you're in active playback and press the stop button once, some samples might continue playing until their out points, which can get annoying. To avoid this, quickly double tap the stop button to instantly stop all audio from playing. This shortcut is slightly less intuitive because the icon is on the screen and it doesn't have a button, so to quickly turn the metronome on and off, hold Shift and press the metronome icon on the screen. To avoid having to folder dive manually every time you want to get to your projects or favorite samples, assign your most used folders to the 5 available shortcut slots at the top of the browser. To do this, navigate to the folder you want to favorite, hold Shift and press one of the 5 available favorite slots. Now you can easily navigate to those folders by using the folder shortcuts at the top of the browser screen. When you've browsed a couple of folders deep and want to back out a step, press the little folder icon with the arrow next to the folder location text. This confused me a bit at first as it's the same icon on top of each other in the menu, but they have different functions. The main mode is the workspace menu where you see your sequences, tracks, and programs, etc. The main menu is the icon-based navigation menu or hub of the MPC. They look the same, but they're not the same. To change a pad's color, click on the pencil icon next to your program in the main mode, then click Pad Color. From there you can customize each pad's color and light behavior. Instead of always having to navigate to the main mode or main menu to reach certain functions, you can use the slide out or sidebar menu on the left, which gives you access to 5 customizable functions. You can assign your 5 favorite functions by going to the main menu and then pressing the edit button next to sync. That will then enable you to drag your desired icons to the far left. The first icon of each row will be in your sidebar menu. Very basically, queue links are the functions assigned to the 4 knobs on your MPC, and they change depending on what menu you're in. What they're controlling will always be shown via the yellow outline. Pressing the queue link button will change the function selections. You'll always be able to see what they're controlling as the yellow outline will move accordingly. What's not as intuitive is that if you hold the queue link button in, you will see the queue link master menu from which you can get top level parameter info and make changes and even make custom MIDI assignments to each knob. To change the selection group, press the queue link button once and then hold, and then repeat that, following the red queue link indicator lights to change your selection. I've not had the most stable experience. I started on firmware version 2.10 and I've had some crashes and strange things happening which forced me to restart my MPC. Because of this, I encourage you to get into the habit of manually saving often. I'm not sure, but I don't think the MPC autosaves at all. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. I also encourage you not to just quick save, but to save copies as your project progresses, version 1, version 2, version 3. It's the safest way to make sure that you have the option of going back to an earlier version of your song. If you keep just quick saving the same file, if that file corrupts, you're going to be screwed. The only real downside to saving progressing versions is disk space, especially if you don't have a big SD card. The MPC saves all your projects with their sample pool, so each save can take up a lot of space, but it's still worth more than losing the project altogether. It also serves as good motivation to back up regularly. This is another hassle, but worth the effort, I think. Because each version saved will take up a bunch of space, it makes sense to back up your cards to your computer or an external hard drive as often as you can. Once you've backed up your stuff, you can remove all the projects from your SD card to make space for new projects. I've lost stuff before working in Ableton, and it's just a nightmare. So I recommend these kind of more boring things, because you'll never be able to redo stuff exactly how you did it. Naming your tracks and programs as you create them will go a long way, especially if you're new to the MPC workflow. It's not just that it gets messy as your project progresses, it gets really confusing, especially if you're still getting to grips with how the sequence, track, and program functions are rooted and structured. This was the hardest part for me to get to grips with as I got my MPC, and I'm planning on doing a video about this in the future. To avoid this confusion, I recommend coming up with your own naming convention. I end all my track names with TRK and my program names with PGM so that I can see what's what at a glance, and it also helps a ton when you're exporting stems to mix in a DAW later. You should and can obviously name your sequences as well, but I feel like at the very least you should name your tracks and programs clearly as you work. In my opinion, sequence naming makes more sense later when you have a better idea of your different song parts. If you found any of these tips helpful, please like and subscribe. I've got a whole bunch of other MPC and sampler related videos in the works. If you have any questions or even some of your own tips, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, tot ziens.